There you go. Hi everyone, my name is Shauna and this is going to be my first YouTube video. I thought as my first YouTube video I should start with a Q&A or like get to know me and just, to start off the page comfortably so you guys know stuff about me. I don't always post everything on social media and I feel like saying it is a bit more personal and it's easier. So I asked a bunch of people, no, sorry, my bad. I asked on my Instagram stories, I decided to post one of those like question boxes where you guys can just ask me a bunch of questions and I can do this Q&A where I'm just describing it, explaining it in more detail. I got a bunch of questions, a whole variety. So I've decided to like group it into like little groups. So the first group is going to be makeup and everything makeup related. The second group is going to be fitness and everything fitness related. And then it's going to be school and my life as a student. Then it's going to be like other, just because there's a bunch of other questions that I didn't really know how else to group. So it's just going to be grouped into the other category. Just off the bat, a little bit about me. I'm 20 years old. I'm a makeup artist. I'm a med student. I love sports, fitness, food, and yeah, let's get into it. I think the first question I'm going to start off with is, when did you start makeup? Officially, I want to say I started makeup about a year and a half ago. Unofficially, probably like 3 years ago. 3 years ago is when I started experimenting with the makeup and like finding what techniques work, finding what products work for my skin tone, finding what I like to do in makeup, all of that. That took me about a year and a half. So officially, I'm going to say I started a year and a half ago because that's when I figured out what I like, what I don't like, what works for me, what doesn't work for me. And that's kind of when I started to get more confident with trying new things in makeup, especially eye looks, because I feel like the eyes are kind of where you can get really crazy with it. Also, I'm going to say that a year and a half ago is also where I grew the confidence to wear makeup out in public, because prior to a year and a half ago, all I would do is wear mascara and like tightline my waterline, because I felt like if I wore anything else, anybody would think I'm doing too much. Now I literally don't care. Sometimes I wear a full face of makeup, sometimes I don't wear any makeup, and that's what I feel comfortable doing. That's how I'm happy, and that's what works for me. What made you create a makeup page? To be honest, I think I started when I was like 16 or 17, and I wasn't consistent at all. Like I tried to post content and like I was very discouraged because I saw the quality of content that other people were putting out there, and I'm like, yeah, mine just doesn't meet that level of quality and interaction, whatever. And I was like, you know what, like I'll just post random things and then maybe I'll just delete the account. What I ended up doing was posting random things with a bunch of filters, like just like not good content at all. Like the makeup was there, but the content was not good at all. The next question is, when did you start your makeup account and did you take it seriously when you first started? I started my makeup account, I want to say when I was like 16 or 17, so about four years ago. And I just like looked at other people for inspiration and just posted whatever. That didn't work for me because obviously I'm not as good as the content creators out there, so maybe I should just stop. And like I would still do makeup and I would post like boomerangs and like little pictures that were filtered, and just I just wasn't very confident in my work on social media, so I didn't post anything seriously up until I want to say last year. I started taking my makeup account seriously probably a year from now, so around July, August 2020. The reason I didn't take it seriously is because I felt like my content wasn't good enough, the quality wasn't good enough. I didn't really know what I was doing in makeup. I was afraid that I'd get a lot of hate and everything. But now I'm kind of at a point where I'm like, I don't really care. Like, I'm confident in my skills. Makeup is a learning process because every time you think you mastered something, there's always something else that comes out. With that being said, I've learned to accept that I'm just not going to know everything. And I'm going to do what works for me. I'm going to do what works for my clients. I'm going to do what makes me happy, what's fun. Because at the end of the day, makeup is an art, and that's why I did it, because it's fun. Most of the times, I don't even post the looks I do. I'm in my room at like 2 or 3 a.m. just playing around with makeup, and just creating magic. That's it. Okay, what's your favorite part of your makeup application? Absolutely 110% eyes. I love playing around with eyeshadow. It probably takes me the longest, but I don't mind because it's so fun. And I never end up doing what I initially thought I was gonna do. So I would start off being like, I just want to do like simple glam, but I would end up with like 17 different colors on my eyes. So it's the most surprising, it's the most engaging. I also think that's what catches the attention first, like your eye makeup. That's just me. Obviously, I could be wrong, but that's what I think. And yeah, next question is what got you into makeup? I think one day no, I know what got me into makeup. So I was like, obviously just scrolling through Instagram and like, I saw a bunch of pictures where these girls just had a flawless face of makeup. And like in their pictures, I thought they looked so good. Like I thought the makeup look just fit perfectly with the vibe. And all the pictures that I had posted on my Instagram didn't have makeup, like my personal page didn't really have makeup. It would be like just lashes or like a lip gloss, mascara, like just very basic makeup. And I'm like, hey, like I wonder what I would look like with a full face in a picture. That's kind of what got me into makeup. That's what got me into posting makeup, I want to say. But what originally got me into makeup was colors. Like honestly, I can't draw at all on paper, but on my face, I can create like anything. It's a form of art, and I just thought it was really fun. I tried it one day, didn't work out well at all. I got some products, and then I realized that like, experimenting was kind of what kept me going when it comes to makeup. I loved just trying new things. So I want to say my curiosity is what got me into makeup because I just wanted to see what it was. I wanted to test the waters. And then when I tested the waters, it got me hooked. Next question is, what are some of your favorite colors to work with? I don't really know if I have a favorite color to work with because I feel like it depends on the formula, of course, but I love the way that orange looks on my skin and black and like berry tones, kind of like what I'm wearing right now. I love the way that looks on my skin tone, but in terms of like my more creative makeup, I love blue, I love pink, even white. I feel like white's an interesting color to work with. Yeah, I don't really have a color that I don't like. I just read a question and it says, what got you into makeup and fashion? So I'm just going to branch off of the question that was, what got you into makeup? And just add on to fashion. I've always been into fashion. Like, honestly, I think since I was a kid, even my parents knew that I was, like, into fashion. I loved exploring new looks. I wasn't the type of girl that cared really about fitting in. I just kind of wore whatever I wore. I was always the girl that stood out because sometimes I just didn't make sense. Like, what I was doing just didn't make sense. But in my head, I saw, like, a vision or whatever. For fashion, like, everywhere I go, I love looking a specific way. Even if I'm just running errands, like I don't have to wear a full face of makeup and have like the whole full glam going on. Like even just a simple outfit, I like knowing that I'm coordinated in my head. I like just looking a little bit different every day, especially because of like COVID and with the quarantine and everything. We've been at home, so every opportunity I can take to go out, even if that's just running to the grocery store. I take it 10 levels higher than it needs to be because I haven't gotten ready and like actually gone out in so long. Now things are opening up, so it's a little bit different, but fashion has always been something that stayed with me. Even if I have like one basic piece, I find like 100 different ways to wear it so that if you saw me with it once, you didn't think it was the same thing I'm wearing again just because I like to change it up so much. Also, as a very short girl, it's hard to find fashion trends that work for me. Finding something that works for a short girl is a little bit tougher, but I feel like that's why I like fashion. Next question is, what's my ultimate goal with makeup? I don't really think I have an ultimate goal. I just kind of want to like keep putting my looks out there and just kind of seeing where it goes. Whether that's growing as a makeup artist, whether that's growing as a content creator. One of my goals for sure in terms of like client makeup is learning how to do makeup on every single skin tone. I have worked with a lot of skin tones. Obviously not every skin tone because there's so many out there, but I want to be able to like perfect a base on every skin tone. Like no matter who comes up to me, I want to be able to do it without like worrying that like, oh, like this isn't gonna match whatever. So client makeup is kind of where my goal is right now. Next makeup question. Makeup. Will you be applying for Sephora Squad next year? For those of you who don't know, I applied for Sephora Squad in like May, I believe, or March. Honestly, I can't remember. It was a little bit earlier this year. And unfortunately, I didn't get it, but I got so many testimonials and so much love and so much support. Like, I wanted to make sure that my makeup was at a point where I could apply, and I have considered it years prior to this year, and I was like, nah, makeup's not good, makeup's not good. So this is the first year that I applied. I didn't get it, which is completely fine, and I absolutely will be applying next year. But a lot of the content creators that I support and follow did get it, which is amazing because like a lot of them are people of color as well. So I was very, very happy to see that. So that made me just as happy. But to answer your question, yes, I will absolutely be applying next year for Sephora Squad. And yeah, we'll just see where that takes me. Next question. What is your favorite look up to date? I have two different like streams of makeup. One is more just like glam, subtle glam. That's just kind of here. And then on the other side, it's a creative makeup where I'm doing like a bunch of special effects, playing around with different colors, whatever. So for this side, I'm gonna have to say it's this white look that I did. I'll insert a picture here. It was a very like simple look. I used like 2 shades of white, but I think it did wonders for my skin. I think it looked amazing. For the creative makeup, I think this is the first ever picture that got some recognition in terms of brands noticing me. This was like a really like over the top extraordinary like makeup look that I put together. Oh, okay, that's it for makeup. We're gonna move on to the fitness section of this Q&A. We're gonna start off with a question: when did you start your fitness journey? I have been an athlete for an extremely long time, since the age of 4, so that's about 16 years. I started off with gymnastics, which I quit before I went off to uni just because it wasn't ideal to juggle both. I also played varsity basketball, soccer, I did a little bit of boxing, and of course like going to the gym and everything. I wouldn't really count that as my fitness journey because that was more just a hobby. Like I really liked doing gymnastics, especially. That was like my main sport. But for fitness, I think it rooted from the fact that I was like so involved in like all of these sports that I wanted to make sure I was healthy and fit, and I wanted to make sure I was happy in the body that I was training in. I started pretty early, to be honest, but I didn't know what I was doing at first. I want to say I started at like the age of 13 or 14, had no idea what I was doing. I would do like sit-ups in my room and be like, yeah, like, you know, that's good enough. But after I hit the age of like 16, 17 and was more educated on like fitness and nutrition and everything, I started going to the gym. I started taking it a little bit more seriously, and I would like experiment with like the machines and like free weights, like everything. I would just learn how to use everything in the gym. I established some fitness goals, and then my passion for fitness just grew over the years. Now I'm at a point where like I know exactly what my fitness goals are. It was kind of like up and down for me, and I think it is for a lot of people because when we're starting, we don't really know what we're doing. We all start off like YouTubing and everything like that, but like everybody's body is different and it reacts differently to different things. For example, like I'm vegetarian, so being a vegetarian, that restricts a lot of my food choices. Fitness should start from something that you're passionate about trying or getting into. And I think that's kind of how my fitness journey started, because before that, I was more just concerned about like what I look like, and that wasn't consistent. That didn't last me long at all. When I started caring more about like what fitness can offer me and why I wanted to get into fitness, and like, you know, did my research a little bit, that's when I was consistent. That's when it was a little bit more long term. I think that kind of touches upon all of like the fitness questions that I got. The next section is going to be about how I manage my time, because I think I got like literally 30 people asking me that. Like, how do I balance the school load and being a makeup artist? How do I manage my time? How do I juggle so many hobbies and passions? How do I manage my time between my business, my content, my studies? Which I think is an amazing question. I have always lived a really, really busy life growing up. I was always in like at least 3 different sports. I was a dancer growing up. I still am. There's school, like all the stuff around the house, you know, chores, whatever. I kind of learned how to accommodate a busy lifestyle. So with that being said, here are a few tips that like I think work for me the best. The first thing I definitely suggest doing is investing in a planner. It doesn't need to be like this like really pretty planner. You can literally just get a notebook, write down what you're gonna do for the day, write the date, highlight the day, and then have a bunch of stuff that you're gonna do for that day. Have the time, give yourself breaks. The way I write my planner is, it would be like whatever I have to do, I'd give myself a break, but I would put that break that I'm like assigning myself in the schedule, because the satisfaction of ticking it off motivates me to keep going and finishing whatever else I have to do so that I can meet that other break again, if that makes sense. Also, like, this kind of goes hand in hand with what I just said, but like giving yourself breaks, just chill, doing whatever you like. If you want to read a book, if you want to go for a walk, if you want to go to the gym, if you want to eat a snack, if you want to walk your dog, like literally anything, just write that down. Make sure you're giving yourself that time. Do not overwork yourself. Sometimes I understand that, there is like the stress of like working in school or working two jobs or going to school or whatever it is. Like, I do understand that there is that stress as well, and sometimes we do overwork ourselves, but in like the grand scheme of things, just remember that taking breaks is very important. And that's something like I kind of learned the hard way, because I waited until I was completely burnt out to like be like, hey, maybe I should take a break. Not the best idea. Definitely give yourself time to take breaks. Plan. Also, number 3, plan ahead. Like, if you know that, like, let's say it's like August 1st, and you know that in the third week of August you're gonna have a really, really, really busy week, make sure that in the first week of August you are writing down that plan. That way, you can mentally prepare for what you need to do. Nothing's a surprise. If something does come up, you write it, but you've already mentally prepared for everything else. And if something does come up again, it's not so stressful. Writing it down also makes sure that you don't miss anything, because there's only so much you can remember, especially going on about our day. So the best thing to do, I think, is to write it down. You don't even need a planner. You can write it down in your iPad, your phone notes, like on a sticky note, like whatever you want. I think those are probably my top 3 tips. I hope that works for you. If you have any other tips that you think worked for you, like leave them in the comments, and everybody can share them so we can all be productive and we can all learn how to manage our time. And now we're going to get into school. A lot of you also asked what I do for school. I live in Canada. I'm a Canadian resident. However, I do attend school in Australia. I was there in 2020, but because of COVID and everything, I came back, and I haven't been able to return yet, but hopefully I'm going to return soon. I'm in med school in Australia. It's a 6-year program. No undergrad is required. It's an accelerated med school program, because the healthcare systems in Canada and Australia are so similar that when I come back, I don't have to write any additional tests, like, get a residency placement here or to be a certified doctor here. Just a test that every other med student in Canada would write. My career goal, I want to say, is to become a neurosurgeon. Like, I wanted to become a neurosurgeon for the longest time. I work with one and I already experienced it, so it's not like it's like super new. I've been able to try it. I've been able to form kind of like a bond / connection with that career choice, and I think that's what's best for me. Of course, a lot can change in the next 5 years, because I did do my first year already, so I have 5 more years. A lot can change in 5 years. I could choose to go down a different path, but as of right now, I am set on being a neurosurgeon. There's another question with that asking why I'm coming back to Australia. Unfortunately, I don't have like a set date yet. I'm trying to come back as soon as possible. As soon as like the Aussie government gives me the green light, I'm packing my bags and I'm gonna be there the next day. That's all the information I have about my return. This is gonna be like my others question section. How do you get photo shoot opportunities? A lot are for like some brands. Like, I recently did one for a brand. I don't really seek photo shoot opportunities. I think just like putting your work out there, whether it's makeup, fashion, whatever, networking, like, I think that's what will give you those opportunities. Because when somebody feels like they can look at your page and like then, and they know that they would want you to represent their brand or collection or whatever it is, I think that's kind of what gives people the confidence to reach out to you. Having a lot of pictures, having a lot of content, having a variety of content would probably be able to get you that. And I don't really know if this works. This is what I'm assuming, because this is what I do. How do you get brands to notice you or your work? I'm a micro influencer. I have less than 1,000 followers on my makeup page on Instagram, and I think I have like 2,000 something on my other page. But I don't really go out and try to get brands to notice me. I definitely don't email any brands. I know a lot of people do that. There's like nothing wrong with that. But what I did notice is a lot of the brands that did notice me or like send me PR or whatever saw like my post on their explore page or like from the tags. And one thing in common that all of the posts had, like for makeup, this is all just for makeup, is first of all the clarity of the pictures and like the quality. I think once I got a camera and a good lens and I started focusing on like the quality of my pictures, I think that's what a lot of brands liked. So there's that. you need to be very different. Like, you need to do something that nobody's ever done before. You need to try completely different looks. The looks where I kind of step out of my comfort zone are usually what get noticed. Don't over edit your pictures either. I went through a phase where I like use a blur tool on everything. I would over edit everything because I thought that, you know, like that would look better. But like, I've grown a lot since then, and what I think looks better now is having that texture in your skin, having those blemishes. Like, don't blur anything out. Like, keep your picture as real as possible. If you want, like, you know, adjust the lighting and stuff like that, that's completely fine. But in terms of like the makeup itself and the way it presents on your skin, you want to be as real and relatable as possible. And you also want other people to look at you and like know that that's what it will look like. Not, they don't want to look at it and be like, oh yeah, that's over edited. So I think being as real as possible is definitely the main thing. So keep your makeup, keep your whatever you're doing, keep it as real as possible. Try to edit as little as possible. Only edit when you really have to. Try to get it in natural lighting. Natural lighting always looks the best. A ring light, I would suggest. A question I probably should have answered in the beginning is, what kind of YouTube content am I going to be delivering? And that's a good question because it's a good, you know, start to like what this channel is going to be. It is going to be featuring my makeup looks, a bunch of fitness stuff, fitness and nutrition, vlogs, lifestyle, fashion. It's gonna have a lot of different stuff. I don't really want to focus on one niche. I know a lot of people say to do that, but I kind of want to like just try out new things. So I think my YouTube channel is gonna be. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, definitely subscribe. But moving on, another question is, what inspires you to create content? Like, some days I wake up and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna create a makeup look. Yeah, I'm gonna make a TikTok. Yeah, I'm gonna have a photo shoot. I have so many ideas. It just comes out at random times. So one day I might be like, yeah, I want to do a makeup look, even though I'd already planned a photo shoot like the day before. It's really just the fact that like I get so much love and support regardless of what I do that I want to keep delivering. I try my best to post every other day on my makeup account. I don't post just because I have to post or like I feel like I have to post. I post because like honestly I like doing makeup, I like posting, I like responding to people's comments, and yeah, that's probably what I would say inspires me to create content the most. This brings us to the end of the Q&A. Thank you so much for watching and staying until the end. This is probably going to be one of my longer videos just because it is a Q&A, so I wanted to make sure I did get everything out there. But in the future, I will make my videos a little bit shorter, more engaging. This is just my first video. It's going to be the first video among so many, and I can't wait to see where it takes me. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked it, definitely like, leave a comment, and subscribe. All my social media is going to be linked in the description box below, so you can give me a follow. If you want the makeup details on this look, definitely check out my makeup page on Instagram. All the details will be linked there. But anyways, I hope you guys had a great time watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Don't forget to subscribe.